Welcome to the gold standard, Making Millions with Malia, the place to be for conscious CEOs and light leaders who know that they have an enormous mission that requires millions to fuel it. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, Clear Channel for Mother Malia, along with being a long-standing 8-figure CEO, investor, and board advisor who is committed to creating as many conscious millionaires as I can in this lifetime, and to debunk the broke healer paradigm that tells you it is not benevolent to make millions doing spirit-led work. We are in the midst of individual and collective ascension, and as we ascend, so must the way that we do business and money as light leaders. That is what this show is all about. So tune in now and find out why we are ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts and why savvy CEOs just like you binge our show each week and share it as a high-value resource with their communities. Now let's dive into today's Making Millions broadcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the Gold Standard podcast. I am your host, Mother Malia, where we are talking about making millions with me, of course. And as you know, we have been moving through this trauma series to help you see how the trauma you have had in your life has actually helped you to call in a certain amount of gold, and also how it caps the amount of gold that can float you in your next level. And then, of course, giving you that insight so that you can choose how you wish to move through it. Just the awareness alone can be very helpful. And then, of course, finding someone that is trauma-informed. It does not need to be me, of course. It can be anyone that you feel that provides a safe and judgment-free space for you to very quickly evaporate trauma. I highly, highly recommend that because especially when you are doing all of the things, and by that I mean you are doing the marketing, you are showing up consistently, you are doing the inner work, etc., and the needle still does not seem to be moving or at the pace that you feel it should, then more often than not, it is trauma. I will be risky here and say that it will likely be 100% of the time trauma. And yet, often we're not told to look for that. We're told to just keep investing in more programs, more marketing, more ads, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but as you know, everything is frequency. And so if you, let's say you are spending $5,000 a month on Facebook ads and they are not converting, it is not the ad. Let's assume that you have good copy and so on. We'll make certain assumptions, okay, that you have amazing copy, that, you have a large, you're very clear on who you are targeting, you have a very clear offer, it typically performs well, and then you turn it into an ad and crickets. Well, on a frequency level, if you have a wall up, if you do not feel safe letting a whole bunch of strangers in, this is really where it activates the stranger danger, you see. You can spend all kinds of money on ad management and ad spend, etc. This is just one example, of course. And it simply won't convert because some part of you energetically is bracing so much for attack or criticism or, whatever you may be bracing for, that the very marketing activities that might on the surface look amazing don't end up doing their job and can't do their job, frankly, because you're in self-preservation and, of course, no fault of your own. Of course, you have your guard up. Of course, you are in self-preservation trying to keep yourself safe because that is what self-preservation is there to do, is to keep you safe. And so our job then is to eliminate the perception of danger, or anywhere there is a distortion of danger, or anywhere there is still a memory in the field of danger, so that that can dissipate very quickly and you can start to feel safe enough. It is not fair for me or frankly anyone else to tell you that you are completely safe, because I cannot guarantee that, and no one else can as well. But we say safe enough, to take the risks, to be visible, to do the next income leap, to charge more, to release things that might make some people upset with you, all of the things. You'll just feel much more confident about engaging in the activities, I shall say, that will really grow your company to the next level. And so today we are going to talk about flight. Last time we talked about fight, and this time we were talking about flight. And flight often shows up by way of leaving the body. The body is often an unsafe place. So we either live in our head and above, we can be very analytical, very much an analysis paralysis, perfection paralysis, trying to go down tons of rabbit holes because we think if I just think this out more, if I just plan this out more, if I just logic this out more, then somehow I will be able to control the outcome. Because your hypervigilance will say I'm unsafe. And so, what ways can I control my environment? Oh, I can always be in hyper awareness with my brain. I can always be analyzing because that way I have the sense that I am controlling my environment. The other is, of course, to leave your body altogether. And whether you are living in your head and above or completely out of your body, you are not present enough to really, of course, integrate the wisdom that you are investing a lot of money to achieve. And also not present, literally physically present in the here and now to receive the bounty that awaits you, to receive the clients that are knocking on your door, to receive the money that is awaiting for you, that just wants to shower you with love. It can also show up by way of avoiding doing the things that are income generating or going to move the needle. It can be you avoiding looking money in the eyes. It can be, only showing up when you need a cash injection. And you can see then we can then create blame and shame and judgment, etc., which then creates a secondary issue because those emotions and those judgments are really like a wet blankets in our energy field, aren't they? And then, of course, ghosting. Maybe you just ghost your mentors or ghost people you are dating or ghost colleagues or clients once someone upsets you and you could just say, I'm out of here. There is no judgment of that, of course. Sadly, though, the cause and effect of that is that when you get a reputation for being, and of course, this isn't the case, this will just be how others perceive it because they will not realize it is trauma, of course. It will come at a high price to you if people perceive you as flaky or unreliable or untrustworthy or that you don't follow through or that you don't deliver what you promise. If, of course, that is the way that it is showing up. Usually it is just that you are leaving your body and not grounded enough, and perhaps not even grounding your messaging enough for it to convert from, say, likes into actual people buying from you. But this will be something that you developed from very significant trauma. It can, of course, happen from any form of abuse in childhood. Very, very common, of course, for sexual abuse to disassociate from the body. And if you are not aware of my history, I investigated crimes against children for many, many years as a forensic investigator. So I'm very aware, of course, very trauma informed, but very aware of the cause and effect of how trauma impacts childhood development and how that plays out even in adulthood. Because, of course, we get frozen in time, don't we, because of the trauma. There is just endless examples of how sexual abuse and physical abuse can create the disassociation that actually makes adult life, I'll say, for lack of a better way of putting it, much more challenging. Because, of course, we're not even fully present. Even physically, it's very common to constantly bang your head because you're not fully in your body, or stub your toe, or sprain your ankle, or get into minor fender benders on a bicycle or car, etc. Because there's simply more of you out of the body, I shall say, than in the body. So it can be a high price to pay, is my point. And on the one hand, you are very in tune when energy is very funky, and that in a good way can help you course correct and stay away from things that are not for you. But then, of course, it can have you misidentifying events or people as stranger danger, so to speak, so that you avoid that as well. And what it can end up doing is making you feel like you're chasing your tail. You can have a real disconnect between how much money is actually coming to you. This is where we can get into situations of overspending or accumulating great debt because we are literally not looking money in the eyes because the pattern of avoidance, which of course is a trauma response, and we will have compassion for that, puts us in a bit of a pickle, of course. So this one, interestingly, well, I suppose each of them has their cause and effect. This one tends to, once we come into the body, once we overcome the flight response and have full presence, this is when things really start to take off in your business. But this is also because, of course, you are so not used to being present and receiving and holding so much and really being present to the amount of people that are around you and the volume of people in your programs and the volume of money that is coming into your bank account, that can create secondary overwhelm because you are simply not used to it. I really implore you to find someone that you can trust to be by your side as you are taking these leaps, because you're just getting used to basically being in a body. The body is what makes us human. So in a lot of ways, you've been avoiding being human. And frankly, I don't blame you, because there are some traumas that it is shocking that people can even survive them, frankly, because they're just so severe, and the impact is just so lasting and has such a grip. So I hope these insights have been helpful for you, and understanding that where you've been judging yourself for your current business results is quite likely trauma. And when you see it as trauma, then you get to shift your energy around it. Then you are no longer judging yourself for not doing enough, not being smart enough, being lazy, any of these judgments that you're placing into your consciousness that simply aren't true. When you can have compassion for the version of you that is just really trying to get by, just trying to cope, just trying to make it through the day, the version of you that is frozen in the trauma, then things can shift. And so, as you can imagine, Malia is very quickly able to evaporate trauma and have you also get very used to expansion in your field, because people expand when they come into my world, especially in close proximity containers. Expansion is inevitable. And as you expand, that can actually feel traumatic, or it can feel very natural and feel like it is aligned with your original coding. And so when we work together, obviously it is going to feel very comfortable, because my goal is to have perpetual income leaps just feel very natural and just like another thing that happens in the day, instead of some big event that wipes you out or drains you or creates chaos or creates more problems, which is often the case when people do income leaps. So I hope this served you. If you were wishing to be supported by me in releasing really any trauma that might be present, anything from the past, any past betrayals, resentments, trauma that you feel are making it hard for you to take the trust fall, I suppose we will call it, right? Take the leap and trust the net will catch you in your next level, then that is what I am here for. And will provide, of course, a safe, judgment-free, distortion-free environment for which you can thrive, and everything can start to flow again the way it was always meant to. So I will love to hear how this landed for you, hear your insights. And of course, if you would love to be supported by me, then please feel free to reach out either on the socials or by going to client care at souljourneys.ca, where my team will be happy to get the process started with you. But from now until then, when we do connect, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this was very helpful. And if it was, I will love for you to share it with those that you feel will also benefit as well. Bye for now. I will see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Before you go, if you would like to have a chance to have your name and business featured on the Gold Standard podcast, hop on over to where you listen to this podcast and leave a review. If you're selected, you'll have your name and business featured on our show. And in the meantime, we wish you tons of financial blessings, and we'll see you soon for the next Making Millions transmission from Mother Malia.